Hey everybody, it's Trish, and today I am going to be working with Traci Reed's new collection, Wildflower. It's new this week, and you can find it on her website and at Sweet Shop. Uh, so to start with, I'm going to build my page, of course. The white that you see in the background is actually just paint that I did in Adobe Fresco using their live watercolor brushes. I knew when I first got the kit and was going through it that I really wanted to use the daisy background, but it was a little busy for what I had in mind for my page. So all I did was take the paper and send it to my iPad and open it in Fresco and then go over it with the large flat white live watercolor brush until I was happy with the general blur area. See, I did edit the frame that I used. I made it a little bit skinnier. That's what I was doing at the beginning, just because the photo is the proportions for an iPhone and not necessarily in the 3 by 4 format. So it was just a little bit too wide. Um, okay, so I have to talk about these paper looking flowers, the ones that I'm currently doing on the page. I love these flowers. They are probably one of my favorite things about the new collection, which is odd because I'm not really a flower person. But yeah, I love those flowers. I don't know why. I think they're just adorable. I like that they're flat, great for layering. Um, and you can see this little circle that I built that has the words and everything in it, that has the circle frame. I spent a lot of time making that, and you didn't see me spend a lot of time making that because I cut out 15 minutes of the page making due to the fact that I don't end up using it at the end of the page. So I didn't see any reason to waste everybody's time showing the making of it. Um, those butterflies are absolutely adorable too, but like her butterflies are always great. They're some of my favorite things. Actually, anytime she illustrates just like fun little extra bits for her kits, I always end up loving them so much. Let's see. Just fiddling with the layers and the shadows. Actually, if it's just a page for myself, I don't shadow as I go. I shadow when I'm done, but it looks odd for recording purposes, so I shadow as I go when recording. Um, Here, I'm just bringing bits of the twine in front of and behind different areas to sort of make it look like it's flowing through the different elements. Also love that big rickrack. I love rickrack in general, but I almost never use it. Uh, there's her paint. Traci is like amazing at making paint. Uh, and I don't want to say she makes the paint just for me, but I am her target audience for the digital paint. Um, I really liked the white butterflies and the white words that come in this collection that just sort of have a little peak of paint. Um, and I thought that like they were such a nice subtle thing to add on the white paint that I had done on there. Um, it just adds a little bit of pop to them. Uh, let's see. I use those little pennant flag things. Those are basically what ends up being the title for my page. Uh, I really liked them. I thought they were cute. Same with the ampersand up there. I always love the little hearts. I always use the little hearts when she makes them. They're just a fun little thing for little touches. Let's see. What are we doing now? We're shadowing still. And we're tweaking that because it just didn't look quite right. The stitching did not come with the collection. The stitching is some that I just have saved on my computer that I made with different commercial use stitching brushes. So as you can see, I got rid of the circle thing with the journaling. Well, with that, it was made out of the journal card that you see here. But I got rid of it. But I still wanted to use the words. So I used the marquee tool and I cut the words out of the card, and I'm sort of stacking them to fill up the space. You're going to see that I'm going to really struggle with sort of trying to make things seem balanced again once I took out the circle. Um, but we're not quite there yet. This is me just trying to figure out how on earth I want to do those. There you go. There's me struggling. Uh, excuse me. What I'm going to end up doing is selecting part of the twine and part of the flower cluster and bringing them over the word strips so that again it just sort of adds more to the page. Uh, when doing something like that, if it already has a shadow, which I mean this is still going to need a shadow, it's really easy just to click right click on your layer and click create new layer for the layer style and clip the layer style into what is underneath it. So like I clipped it into the word strips. Here I am fiddling with that cute flower, trying to figure out what on earth I'm going to do with it. Uh, it felt really sort of out of balance after I took the other one off and put those there. And then I literally raised my hands and went, aha, I can add a button, and added a button. Actually, I added two buttons. There's the same button twice. Um, I know a lot of times I don't keep the custom shadowing in the videos when I do the videos, but I decided to let y'all see some of my how I do my different shadow work. Uh, a great thing when you're not sure about how exactly to do your shadows on your digital pages is to look at how things interact with each other in real life. Um, like the paper butterfly was like laying on the flower. So what I ended up doing was making it look like that. You just adjust your shadow and move it, and then you move it under the item, and then you still keep another shadow on top of the item. Uh, you'll see me do it again several more times in this. Uh, hold on, let's see when we get to the frame, and I'll be able to tell you again. This is just sort of tweaking those papers shadows for interacting with the twine underneath them. But let's see, hold on, we're about to get there. Here with the frame, you're about to see me do it again, where it's laying on top of the bigger, bulkier element, and then I have to adjust for that. I pulled it out some where the flower is, and I'm doing it again on this side, and then bringing it back in for the buttons because they're going to be holding it down. Then I'm going to do it again for the white flower so that it comes out by the white flower but goes back in towards the top. And then I pulled it down under, I pulled that shadow I just adjusted down under all those bulky elements because that's how the shadow would be like if you were actually looking at all of those things together. Um, let's see, I really struggled with the shadow on the yellow flower up there. Um, just no matter what I did, it came out dark or too light. So I ended up taking a white brush at a lower opacity and just going towards the edge of the shadow some more to sort of balance it out. Um, Here you can see me adjusting the twine to interact with all the things around and under it. Um, let's see, I'm going to pull that down because it's string. The shadow's going to be down. And then I have to fix where you can see the shadow from the string with the leaf. So I unclipped that from the twine so that the shadow didn't interact with it. in that way so that it looked weird. Um, and again, adjusting the butterfly shadow and then bringing it down under the twine while leaving a copy of the shadow above the twine that isn't as altered. Um, I just had altered this shadow just a little. I mean, it didn't really need a whole bunch. I probably could have left it. I just didn't. Um, I mean, yeah, it didn't need much, but I did it anyway. Let's see, where do we do? Okay, and from here, what I did was I imported my page into Procreate, and I used one of Aaron Blaze's sketching pencils. I want to say this one came with one of the watercolor sets. It's a brush and it's sketching pencils, like the name of it. And I used it to do my journaling. That was part of why I wanted to make sure that I had that white in the background, was so that I could create a journaling space on my page. I knew I didn't want it to be anything like really bold or stand out, but I wanted to add it all in there, which is why I ended up sort of using that lighter brush and a lighter color just so that I could put it, but it wouldn't be overwhelming to the rest of the page. And there it is. That is the finished page. Again, this uses Traci Reed's new collection, Wildflower. It's available now.